Education is something that we cannot fail our children. It don't just have to be or at school. No, education needs to start at home because so we cannot have people like Jesse Lee Peterson or Charleston Wow running around because the world is dangerous enough already. So if our children they see in somebody like Charleston Wow like the role model, that's wrong. Period. If our children they see in just Lee Peterson as the role model, that's just wrong. I don't know what Bible he reads. Charleston White, the way he behave and act, the way he speak, he's not somebody that you want your children to copy or to look. No, it's you parents anyway. You should tell your children, don't watch that man. That's ignorant person, not very bright.
I create youth development programs, youth engagement programs. I have anti-gang cognitive intervention programs that I've taught at alternative schools that I teach inside the juvenile facilities. I also, at one point in time, would train the state's juvenile correctional officers who was employed with the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. And then I work with the public defender's office and partner with criminal defense mitigation specialists on sometime helping young people who've committed capital murder or murder. And I come in and I help explain the mitigating factors or the mitigating circumstances that would deem this child or this young person to be given a second chance in life.
Oh, I see.
Can you see my problem is? He's doing all of this, so he's saying he's helping children. Wonder what kind of education that is giving them children, because just watch his behavior and the way he talk. Do you really want your children to follow this man? Really? Black man and female, please tell me, do you want your children to follow this? He said he's helping. He helped children in prison, all of that. He's trying to, give them a second chance. If you follow Charleston White, his behavior, the way he just behave, the way he's life, man. Beggar can't be choose. Beggar can't be choose. That's the problem with us black people. We are failing people.
So were you raised by both parents? Were both parents in your home growing up?
No, sir. I'm the product of what I like to call the typical traditional African American home, the single parent home, right?
Yeah.
73% of African American homes in this household are headed by single black mothers, and so I'm the product of that, right? I'm the product of a mother who was a teenage mother, but she had the ambition, she had the wherewithal, she had the tenacity to will herself out of impoverished conditions and raise her two boys and what I would like to say the backbone of America, which is that middle class upbringing, that middle class lifestyle. So my mother landed a job at General Motors in the early 80s. Yeah. And I can vividly remember our lives changing from living in an apartment complex to having a home and me and my brother having our own rooms and living what I like to say a pretty productive life. A mother who was God-fearing, who tried to instill good morals and good values into her two boys. But back during that time, and I was born in 77, so the 80s, there was somewhat of a stigma to single mothers, and then there was not a lot of help for single mothers. And so my mother was the backbone of our family. My grandfather is a military guy who migrated out of East Texas to Fort Worth, Texas by way of the Air Force. He's the oldest of 17 children. His mother is a lady by the name of Lucille Helton. She was a slave. She was the property of the White Sloan Plantation. And so that's where we get our last name from. My father's name was Freddie White. He joined the Air Force, came to Fort Worth, and most of his brothers migrated to Fort Worth. We was taught to pray at night before we went to bed. We was taught to pray over our food. I've never heard my mother say anything bad about my father. I've never heard my mother cuss anyone out. So what I believe, my mother taught us to fear God and fear her as well as respect her. But she tried to instill biblical principles into us at an early age in life. As far back as I can remember in my life, we had a foundation of biblical principles.
Did you have any relationship with your father growing up?
No, sir, I didn't.
No contact at all?
My dad was in the Navy. My dad retired from the Navy and battled with mental illness. And so I probably can count on two hands how many times I've seen my father in my lifetime.
So what was it like for you not seeing him and being with him growing up? Did you yearn for him, or what was it like?
All children, especially boys and girls, yearn for their father. There's a strong desire.
Yeah.
Not having a father there, right? And your mother not having the words or the understanding, or maybe the time to explain to you what it's like to not have a father, right? So most single mothers are working. I don't know what it's like to be hungry. I don't know what it's like to come home and have our lights cut off. So my mother was very financially responsible, and at some point we made it to a level of affluence. But not having your father there, as a kid, not being able to articulate it, you internalize, right? So when the parents get divorced, kids typically blame themselves. So as a kid, you have questions. Where's my dad? Why is my dad not here? You may have a neighbor. I had a Hispanic guy by the name of Brian Alaniz. Brian Alaniz had a father. So I spent the night at Brian's house. Spending the night at Brian's house gave me a dad at times, right?
Yeah.
So you get to see what a family structure looked like. Then when you go home, you have questions. You have internal thoughts. So as a kid growing up, mom working. So when I'm getting out of school, mom's going to work. You feel unloved, right? You feel rejected. Then that turns into hurt. So there's a pain that just simply revolves around the fact of a father being absent, that this kid is feeling, right? He can't articulate it, right? No one's sitting him down, and he's not going through counseling. So that's where the behavior begins to transpire, right? So you're feeling unloved, you're feeling abandoned, you're feeling rejected. That hurt begins to turn into anger, but the anger is just a smokescreen, right? You really want, so as a young man, I got all these emotions inside of me. And so when I get to school, I got the PE coach, I got the math teacher, or I got the school police officer. When he confronts me, hey, young man, you need to pull your pants up. Well, all these emotions causes me to resent him. So I got this displaced anger, right? He's done nothing to me, but he's a man. He's a male authority figure, and I want him to come home with me. I wish he can come home with me. So I resent you telling me what to do, trying to correct me, and you can't come home with me. So I began to hate you, and I began to despise other men, other male authority figures, mainly other black men.
As we heard over there, he's not wrong what he said over there. That's why it's always very important for black parents speak to your children. Always. Because vast majority of black people, especially parents, they don't speak to their children. And that's the issue. They let the children deal with everything. Deal with outside, deal with at home. No one is speaking to their children. And this is why we gave people like and why and just Peterson. That's why we get all of this nonsense, I'm not saying what and what said over there is wrong. No, everything that he said over there is definitely correct. When no one is paying attention to you, especially children, when you're avoiding children, they grow up, you don't know what is inside. It's going to boil, and they start reacting. You start asking yourself question, why my children is? Because you fail to speak to your children. Speaking to them prevent your children. Giving the emotion to your children, it helps. Showing the love to your children, it helps. But you have parents that they hate doing that to their children. Even the African parents, I'm telling you, they don't show no emotion to their children. All they show is that Jesus garbage love. Pray, reading the damn Bible, going church. That's when you see love from your parents with the Jesus. But beside that, trust me, even if you're having issues outside, they don't, how are you going to speak to them? Because they don't show you that love. And that's my problem with our parents. They need to look at this child and what he had his own mother. She did everything. She had a room. He was eating. She feed them properly, not complaining. But because no one was talking to him, look at the way he ended up. He ended up in juvenile, like he always said, I never been in jail. He ended up in juvenile from there because of what? I think he almost killed somebody. This is just crazy. Parents, look after your children.
How many children do you have?
I got 2.
Okay. And what is it like being married? Are you married to a white woman?
Fuck no. I don't marry no goddamn white woman.
Are you married to a black woman?
Goddamn right.
And so what is it like? What is it like being married?
Man, I be wanting to fuck everybody. I feel like I'm in prison sometimes. Yeah, I want to be a low down, dirty motherfucking single man and, fuck her cousins and her sisters and get away with it, but I can't. But man, sometimes I don't want to be married. Some days I tell her I don't want to love nobody. I want to be self.
Ain't nobody from outside bringing down the property value. It's these folks.
Some days I don't want to kiss you and say, I'll be back, baby. Some days I don't want you or the kids saying nothing to me. And
You
I don't.
tell her that?
Yeah, we feel it, don't we?
And what
As
does-
men, don't we feel it?
What does she
As
say
men-
when you tell her that?
Oh man, I'm like granddaddy to them. She can't say nothing. But no, I'm like the men before women's suffrage. No, I dictate. Yeah, I'm like the old vows. Cherish and obey.
How long you been married?
Yeah.
How many?
3.
Oh, 3 years. And so your wife is okay with you saying those things to her?
I done call her a bitch in the mall before shopping. Hey, bitch, don't get it married.
Django, this is another cheeky black bugger like yourself, Steven.
The fuck you talking about? Man, I'm fucking her. What you mean? Is she okay? Who gonna fuck if I don't? Yeah, she got to be okay. We married. It's safe for better or for worse.
I know that there's no such thing as racism.
He's a liar. He lied.
I believe that our battle is a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong, and no such thing as racism.
Liar. That's a lie.
It's a spiritual battle.
We not dealing with. That's why I say racism is so far embedded. My generation can't see it. We don't know what race. So I'm with you on that.
Django, this is another cheeky black bugger like yourself, Steven.
I'm with you. We looking for racism, and racism is too deep for us to see.
Yeah.
You got to go deal with an old motherfucker to deal with racism.
So
we dealing with good and bad,
Yeah.
right and wrong.
You want us to listen deaf?
And so, would you call yourself an alpha male or beta male?
Shit, I'm whatever I need to be. Yeah, the fuck you talking about? I ain't nothing. Yeah, I'm whatever I need to be. Yeah, you talking about I'll be a beta male to get what I want. Yeah. No, man, I ain't trying to be nothing all the time.
What is a
Yeah,
man?
I ain't never seen now, brother.
Stupid motherfuckers.
So
just
do you
don't
love all people?
Hell no.
You don't
No,
love
listen,
all people?
No, man, I don't love no gang banging motherfucker shooting up my neighborhood. I don't love gang members.
But why not? They can't help it because they are in anger too. They can't understand what they're doing because they didn't have a father to guide
you
them.
ain't
Why
never-
don't you love them?
You ain't never heard me say no shit like that. You ain't never heard me say I went out and killed somebody because I ain't have no fault.
Well, you just said because you were looking for that
Goddamn
father.
lie. I didn't say we killed nobody because we were looking for nothing.
No, I'm talking about joining
you-
a gang and things like that.
I told you as a kid.
Mhm.
I didn't know I was looking for no daddy. I didn't know I was out doing this.
But they don't either.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I was willing to pay for my wrong.
Right, but do you understand that the other gang members? But do you understand that the other gang members are looking for a father as well, and they don't know it?
Listen, it's a whole lot of gang members ain't looking for no goddamn father.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I know I was in the gang with them. Listen, hold on. You speaking from a stadium way up there in the stands, trying to dictate to the players down on the field. You spinning a bullshit narrative, Mr. Peterson. Listen, you trying to spin a narrative of children join gangs, not grown adults with fully functional, developed brains. No kid is saying, "Hey, I'm joining the gang because I'm looking for daddy." It's the attributes that the gang have available for the kid that replaces what the father didn't get don't provide in the home. So don't spin that narrative, home.
But so do you believe that if those adult gang members had fathers growing up, would they be in a gang? Would they be a part of a gang as an adult?
Shut the fuck. Shut. Did I say no? Oh shit. Say it again. Say.
Listen, I know niggas who had daddies and mamas.
Just doing gang. Yeah.
I know guys that had, I know well-to-do, affluent people who joined gangs with mothers and fathers.
And why would they join them?
I don't know. I ain't had a mother and father to be able to
I know,
say
but have
that.
you ever asked those grown ones, the ones you ran into?
Listen. I don't know no grown people join gangs. I don't know no grown-up join gangs. You're talking about children with undeveloped brains, mostly come from traumatic childhood background, dealing with mental health and substance abuse problems.
Yeah.
What the fuck they go join?
Gang.
So, but you never ran into an adult along your way of life, especially since being out, and now you understand what's going on. Have you ever ran into adult men or women who are in gangs and they didn't explain why?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
You never ran into that?
I used to teach a class, and I want you to hear me good. I used to teach a class for all the adult prisoners that came back to Fort Worth, Texas, that was released from prison at the Central Parole Office on McCart. I used to teach the class every Tuesday and Thursday with an organization with other chaplains. The main chaplain was Chaplain Jerry Carver with Welcome Back Tarrant County. And I tell you, I have never met a grown adult member to coincide with what you're saying, brother. Maybe you should come down here and meet some of these gangbangers. I teach an anti-gang cognitive intervention inside the schools that 5 other schools just picked up. I got 20 other men, all businessmen, former NBA players, NFL players, rappers, managers, all coming to these schools with me to teach this gang program.
Right there. Charleston will invite him. Maybe you should come up. Like he's this. Are you crazy? Look at him. Oh, oh man, this Charleston is crazy, man. Damn, not crazy, but ignorant most of the time. You know, I love ignorant, but he said a lot of truth. You know, he can be ignorant a lot of time, but damn.
And I'm telling you, I have never seen a grown adult give the reason of the narrative of what you're trying to spin right now. Shit I done got to do to white hoes and white people and get away with it. I'm so goddamn proud America gives second chances. Most black men won't never get to kill a white man and talk about it, so you goddamn right I'm proud to be American. I got to stand over a white boy and watch him die and tell my grandkids what kind of facial expressions they make.
And so you love America?
Listen, right now, I know it's a white boy with a pair of a leather jacket made out of a nigga's back. It's a white boy right now, every family reunion or every Christmas, he bring out some nigga ears they cut off.
Damn.
They got a nigga dick somewhere in the jaw. They got a big nigga's dick. A white family do. They got a nigga's ass made out of a leather belt.
So let me ask you this.
Don't come telling me about nigga. I'm proud to be an American. Nigga, fuck you talking about this where the niggas was made. Where the niggas was made.
What's your impression?
Made in America, niggas. Damn.
What's your impression of Donald Trump, the great white hope?
Oh, I love it. So I love it. Man, any motherfucking man that say he walk up to a woman and grab a pussy and she love it and he don't apologize, oh, that's my kind of man now. Cause that's the type of shit I just walk up to a hoe and just grab a pussy. Come here, baby. Donald Trump been loving us and we've been loving him from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. I don't know where this new shit come from. We love Donald Trump, my household.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
As we heard over there, Charleston White is really is something. It's sad, you know. Charleston White is not dummy, but the way he acts, the way he presents himself, I would not dare let any young people to learn from him. But the behavior, I would not let my children to be next to him because, nah, it's not somebody that I would. His way is just not right. Both of them, Charleston White and just Lee Peterson, they just ignore it. They just listening to them, brain is just baffled. I'm just shattered because I'm thinking, my goodness, wow, that was a lot to take in. To me, that was a lot to take in. It's like, damn, man, he's very ignorant, you know, though, very ignorant. He's smart, but ignorant at the same time, and that's dangerous. He can lead you in a wrong path at the same time. You know, because remember, we can learn from the people we're seeing, but the behavior so it can make people, we have two ways: the way you speak and the way you're behaving. So majority of us people, we like to copy behavior, the way people they're going around about themselves, and what we do, we follow. And people like him, the ignorance is all they're gonna people that are ignorant, they're gonna follow. While they follow him, you lose your way. So to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me, I find him is so ignorant, the way he just talks and the way he goes on about, and the way he's responding, you know, is a lot of ignorance. Some truth in a lot of it. I'm not saying what he said is, you know, is not truth, but he says a lot of things that is truth, but in an ignorance way, you know. He should find a way how to speak. And he said one thing, he said at the end, I think I'm not gonna play that anyway, but he said one thing. He said, charity start at home. Look in the mirror, you know, look in the mirror, and before you think about cleaning up outside, clean at home, you know. Start cleaning yourself, make yourself feel better, make yourself look good, trying to understand you, educate yourself at home first. And I like that. That is really good advice. I really like that. I'll find a way that to give the approach to a lot of young people. And you can see, and he's trying to give white people advice to go so they can go to his YouTube page. And the way he's saying it, and the way he's saying white people, they can call black people niggas, and the way he just explained that to me, it just baffled me. It just dumb and ignorant. And to me, when he said white privilege is just is a joke, it's not real, ignorant and stupid. What privilege is real? 110%. Because people are chatting what his mother gave him everything, but he lost the way because he didn't have no male figure to speak to. But it don't mean it can lead you in a wrong path. Because if you see me, I grew up with my aunt. My aunt had a good education that she was giving to us. The path, she probably gave us education, the way we can grow up how to be. It was not at school. It started at home. The education that my aunt gave us had to be ready what is outside. And she did a fantastic job just by herself. It wasn't easy, but she did that. Imagine we're free boy. And my aunt did that. We did not go and start being in a gang or start. No, we didn't. But I understand one thing, sometimes the environment. One thing about people is environment and the behavior. The certain behavior you're seeing from other people that you're hanging around, you will follow. And I see that to a lot of young black men. When they're not getting attention at home, nobody's really being their guardian. When they go outside, they start copying what they see and they fall to that trap. And it became very difficult for them to let go. And that been happening a lot to black people. And it's very hard because the trauma that we have. When I see Charleston White and Lee Peterson, I see the trauma. The trauma, it run very deep on them, but they're just too ignorant to think like these things, it don't exist. Black people, they were making up all of this racism, it don't exist. That's just ignorant talk because what your ancestors, they went through.
You know what I'd rather do? If I thought, had any idea that I'd ever be a slave again, I'd take a gun and just end it all right away. Because you're nothing but a dog. You're not a thing but a dog.
If you don't see the racist, what do you see? What? You see a black people that was not smart? They torture black people. What they're talking like that is ignorant. Very ignorant. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I would love for you all to subscribe, like, share. We'll catch you guys to the next one. Peace.